to build what? Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and this is the Stryfe that I recently built in the No Steps Skipped Stryfe build. It's a really long Stryfe build, but if you have any questions on how to do a simple Stryfe rewire, I cover absolutely everything in there, every wire clip, every solder, everything. But it was dark by the time I finished it, and so I wasn't able to put it through its paces, and so now I am able to, and I'm going to. And one of the fun things about editing is you don't know all the mistakes that I made if I don't tell them to you. And the first time I did all of the tests, I accidentally used the wrong battery and used a 3S battery. This is a 2S build. It has Drax new cage and wheels, and then it has Fang revamp. So it's a very fitting build, but it is a 2S build. And while you can run Fang revamps on a 3S, it voids the warranty, and they will wear out faster, much faster. They're not designed for that, and performance will actually suffer. You will get an increase in FPS, but just about every other aspect of it will go down the drain because the wheels are spinning too fast, and it actually hinders performance. So I then redid it all with a 2S LiPo, and the performance was noticeably increased. I also then switched ammo types. I was originally using waffle heads, and then halfway through decided to switch to AccuFakes to see how much of a difference it made, and it made a huge difference. So we're going to take this to the range, and you're going to get to see all of that, and hopefully I'm able to edit all of that messy footage into something vaguely coherent. Alright, first test we're going to do is we're going to fire some waffle tips out of this Oimio magazine to see how that particular random configuration works. Looking to see what kind of FPS we're getting. Well, there you have it, coming in around the 140s, give or take, some low, some high. Alright, here's our first target. I'm going to be shooting at the lovely pistol target that I was sent. And I'm going to be starting aiming at the one at the far left, and if I hit it, I'll move to the right. If I hit it, I'll move to the right again. And once I hit all of them, if I manage to hit all of them, then I'll switch back. And that's what I'm trying to hit. I'm shooting at a range of 30 feet. We'll see if I can hit anything at all. I think I actually did hit all three of them, just not when I was aiming at them. I did eventually hit the one on the far left and then moved over, and I don't know if I hit that middle one. I did hit the far right one a time or two. I just wasn't aiming at it yet. So, yeah, pinpoint accurate? No. But did they all at least go vaguely in the right direction? Yeah. All right, let's try a more useful number. Oh dear, I seem to have shredded a couple of darts. Oh well. Next test. Alright, for the next test, I am going to be shooting at a range of 70 feet, aiming at my dart net that the camera is right in the middle of. So, I'm going to be shooting directly at the camera. So, if I hit it, or if it goes, in the net behind it, then we'll know. Otherwise, who knows? Alright, it looks like I actually got one in the net, and the rest are fairly well grouped. There's a whole bunch right here at the base of the target, and then a few here behind it. Variants, probably about 6 feet side to side, so not great, but easily getting, the 70, 80. If you arced it, you'd get even further range. I was firing fairly flat. Blew a few more heads off. But, yeah, not bad. Probably work better with AccuFakes, so I don't know how well AccuFakes would work with the crush of those cage and wheels. But, yeah, I think acceptable. Well, a little bit lower, but we're getting some in the high 130s and as high as 143, so, yeah. there's some difference. Again, different ammo, different weather, different climate, might make all kinds of differences. But now I'm really curious about the accuracy when you're not overvolting. So let's set up the targets again. So I don't know if you saw that, but I actually ended up hitting it with just the head of a dart that had blown off. Personally, I think it was actually much more accurate than on 3S. It definitely felt more controllable. Still wasn't terribly accurate because they're Nerf darts. There are limitations, especially on a flywheel, because you can't have, it doesn't have a star barrel or, anything like that that's going to make it really, really accurate. AccuFakes might work better. In fact, I'm going to try that next. I tore the heads off a couple of those, but unquestionably, even at this range, AccuFakes are way more accurate. Let's try it at the 70 feet, and I'm just going to go straight to the AccuFakes because I don't want to have to reload the magazine a whole bunch more times. Alright, well I did get at least one on the net, and the rest are all really close. AccuFakes, man. They're the way to go. Alright, let's talk about this. Right, so, yeah, it's actually a really nice build. I love how quiet it is, and how smooth it revs up, and there's almost no vibration. It's really well-engineered parts in this thing. And I definitely, personally, saw a major difference between the 3S and the 2S. The 2S performed better. The FPS was not that much lower in general. It was a little bit lower, but I was getting the same high max numbers, just not as consistently. But it's way more accurate. It actually got about the same range, honestly. But it was way more accurate on 2S than on 3S, because that's what those motors were designed for. If you go too fast on flywheels, you just shred your darts and you end up with whirlybirds and erratic flight patterns and all of that. Foam Blast, who helped design these wheels, did an incredible amount of testing to work out what the optimal FPS, or what the RPM, the maximum RPM was with Nerf blasters with different wheels and all of that. And so you can't just expect to be able to up the voltage and have all of your performance improved. It doesn't work like that. There's a lot more that goes into it. And personally, I find FPS to be an overrated measurement. People tend to, that's the first question they ask. What's the FPS? That doesn't really matter as much as range and accuracy, which are not dependent on FPS for the most part. Increasing the FPS will hypothetically increase the range, but if you go too far and you end up with whirlybirds or erratic flight patterns, then it doesn't do you've gained nothing. You can't hit anything at that range, even if you can make the dart go that far. It's so inaccurate, you can't hit them. So what's the point? The only thing that FPS really truly tells you is how much it's going to hurt at point blank range, which is a useful measurement for things like HVZ, where an awful lot of the game is played at point blank range. Then it's important to know how hard your blaster is hitting, because you don't want to have an incredibly powerful blaster if you're going to be shooting people who are literally, an inch away from you at times. So, yeah, it's not that FPS is a useful measurement, it just isn't as useful as most people think, in my opinion. I'd much rather have something that only shoots 70 feet, but that I can always hit somebody at 50 feet with it, than something that can hypothetically shoot 90, but that I can't hit anybody at 40 because of how erratic it is. So, there is my take on the performance of this blaster. I think it came out great. The last thing I want to show off, because I haven't shown it off yet, is the battery indicator, which is on the left side of the blaster and activates on rev. I don't know how well you can see it. There we go. This battery's a little bit low. It's been used. And, yeah. Now, that part I got from Foam Blast, and they do come in both 2S and 3S, and you need to use the right one for the right battery, or you won't get accurate indication on how low your battery is getting. So, yeah, I think it came out really nice. Hopefully he is happy with it. I will be shipping it out as soon as I get confirmation that he is, in fact, satisfied with the build. And then I'll start working on the next one. I've got a bunch of commissions already lined up, so I know a lot of you have been emailing me about commissions, and I haven't gotten back to all of you, or I have gotten back and I've said, you know, here's how you look up the prices, or I've told you I'm currently booked. Once I get a few more of the ones that I already have done and shipped, then I'll start taking up more. I try not to have more than 5 at a time. Otherwise, I just never get any of them done, and then they just pile up, and then I feel bad. So, this one is ready to go. You know who you are. Email me, let me know what you think, and then I can get it shipped back to you. We can also discuss, you know, the second half of the price and all of that, I think. Unless you paid a full upfront. I don't remember which. Anyway, if you have questions, comments, concerns, all of the various emails that I use are down in the description. The commission email, just general topic email, review email, all of that. Featured fan builds, all of that is down in the commission, as well as my mailing address if you want to mail me something. And thanks for watching.